Hey, 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 what's up, y'all in the world? This is the Ace Michaels Show, and I'm Ace Michaels. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be anywhere. If you ever ask me, like, pull me aside, if you see me at some event or something, and you say, are you happy to be here? Yeah, I'm happy to be anywhere because what's the alternative? We got to live every day as if it's the last day. As they say, don't count the days, make them count. All right, let's get into the show because that's what you guys came here for. You didn't come here to hear my philosophy on life. So, listen, man, imagine if you went to a different planet. And on this different planet, there were aliens, which you could get over that. I mean, that'll take a little bit for you to digest that part. That's easy. But on this different planet, these aliens had these devices. And on these devices, the aliens could look into the devices and live any kind of other life that they wanted to live. They could make it seem like they were out touring the planet and having fun and kicking it on yachts and wearing nice clothes and eating nice food, when the reality, as you see it from an outsider's perspective, is nothing like that. You're just a moldy green alien. What the hell? You looking at? You're not a damn influencer in this alien world. Okay, what if you went to the jungle and in the jungle you found a secret trove of forest frogs that were, you know, sitting in front of a mirror reflection in the water, trying to look real fly for the other frogs to say, hey, man, you must be living the kind of life that I want to live. You're not just a frog with a bunch of warts on your face. You're a different kind of frog. You're an influencer frog. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is this is what's becoming of our world with AI girlfriends. We have decided we don't need the hustle and bustle about the relationship. We don't want anybody who's going to tell us any opinion that is not our own validated opinion. We want someone who's going to allow us to live the fantasy all the way through, like all the way through. Be there for me in my time of need, hear my emotional dramas, support me in a way that no one else ever supports me, and definitely don't condemn me for the mistakes, decisions that I make. That's what we're looking for. And if that's what we're looking for, then the question becomes, what are we becoming? Are we becoming like those frogs? Are we becoming like those aliens? What is real and what is not real anymore? If we can just literally download a program that's going to agree with everything that we think. Dang, this brother's on one today. All right, man. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your convictions, your beliefs on this topic. You can always email the show. Let us know what you think. And if you ever want to be a guest on the show, please bring it. I always say, if it's on your chest, come be a guest. Today on my show, I have the beautiful and talented Lux Monroe is my guest on the Ace
Hi.
Michael Show. Lux Monroe, welcome to the Ace Michael Show, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh
I'm
my
very excited.
gosh. I'm beside myself. Like, here's
Mhm.
me, and then there's another me beside me. Yeah, I love it. Lux Monroe is in the house. Well, before we ask you a bunch of questions, people probably want to know who you are. Like, who is Lux Monroe? Right?
Right?
As if they didn't already know. Lux Monroe, tell us a little bit of your story. Who are you, gal?
Um, so yeah, I am a Vegas local and I'm a content creator, influencer, OnlyFans model. If it's online, I'm doing it. I love technology. I love social media.
It's
I'm all
online.
about
I
it.
love it. Okay, so Lux Monroe just won our T-shirt statement for the week. I love it. We're gonna print those T-shirts. If it's online, I'm doing it. I love it. So, Lux Monroe, you're the perfect person to ask about this topic of this morning. It's got me all fired up thinking about AI, and
Mhm.
artificial intelligence has also become artificial intimacy. Would you agree?
Yes. Yes, I do agree 100%. And to me, it really shows a reflection of the times that we're in and how our society feels.
Hmm.
Because with AI intimacy and AI girlfriends, people aren't falling in love with a robot. They're falling in love with the feeling of love, you know? They
Right.
want that connection. They want that. They don't want to be lonely anymore. We have a lot of lonely people out there, and AI doesn't leave you on red. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
it's there for you,
But
but
didn't we always have a lot of lonely people? Like there were always
mhm,
like when I watch a cowboy movie, they
yeah,
had like the one whorehouse where the cowboys would go because cowboys were lonely. I just understood that from what I read and what I saw. So haven't we always had lonely people? What's the difference?
the difference is the technology. We always had lonely people, but we didn't always have the technology. Now we have people creating this technology to keep up with that, to where they don't have to go to the whorehouse or whatever, that they're able to get that at their fingertips.
Hmm.
And it can be a good thing because it can give someone, confidence. It can help them through a tough time. I mean, I'm even guilty of using Chat GPT as a counselor.
Oh,
At
really?
times. Yeah, because you can talk to it. It can give you some advice. It can help you word things if you need to talk to someone else. It doesn't judge you. It's not going to get you in trouble. It's not going to tell on you. So I've even done that myself.
Lux Monroe said it's not going to tell on you. That's a whole nother. We're going to get into that. We're going to put the pin in that part. It's not going to tell on you. I love it. Do you think that we are in danger as a society for relying too much on the AI and the artificial, even if it's not AI technology, the artificial intimacy is a concern, I think. The idea that, okay, let me put it this way. All right.
I did.
Have you ever
Yeah.
been a dancer in a strip club?
Yes, of course. I
Was
danced for 12 years. Yeah.
okay, so I come to the strip club, right?
Mhm.
Is it outrageous for me to think that because you're spending some time with me that you might actually like me and that we might actually one day become boyfriend girlfriend? Is
It's
that
very common.
outrageous to think that that would
No,
happen?
that's very common because that's the entertainer's job. And what I learned as a dancer is that when the guys go in there, they go in there because they need a connection, because maybe their girlfriend just broke up with them or they got rejected, and they're looking for that connection. And I was taught to give that connection was through touch. You touch their shoulder, you touch their arm,
Mm,
and that's how you build that connection. Now with the technology and on the online stuff, they're trying to build that connection through messages, which is much harder. But it's still happening, obviously. Um, but yeah, so it's definitely not, absurd, or it's very normal. It's even normal when I was a waitress at a restaurant, it would happen. A lot of guys would ask me out just because, I'm friendly for tips. And
right.
sometimes they would think I was me being a little too friendly or whatever. Or they would, think that they had a chance.
Wow.
Um, but that really is, to me, that really is the dancer's job. Is to make them feel that way. It's for entertainment, and then also to be there. Basically, I used to have a Instagram account called Topless Psychiatrist, and because that's what I felt I was. I was there to listen to their problems and cry on my shoulder. Didn't judge them. But I actually had to shut that one down because so many people actually thought I was a real doctor.
Right. That
So
part.
yeah.
So let me ask you. Now this is, I don't know. Just pretend like I'm a complete idiot, right? And I just
Hmm.
don't know. Like first off, dispel the myth for me. Is there ever going to be any real relationship that's going to come from me being a customer on your OnlyFans or in your strip club or in your AI space? Like, is this ever going to really become a thing?
I don't know if it really become a thing. I don't think I've ever dated anyone I met in a strip club. But mostly because as the dancer, or as, let's say, the OnlyFans model, you're doing a job. So you're looking at them as a customer still, even though you are filling a void, or you're comforting them. That is your job to do that. So that's kind of like saying, would you date your psychiatrist, basically?
Right.
Um, and you probably won't,
Right.
but they are there for you.
But some
Um,
people, yeah, some people do. And so, would that be the case going vice versa? Would you date someone who was a dancer in a club?
yeah, I would, because I've been a dancer. Maybe before I was a dancer, probably not. But once I was in that world and I understood it more, and I understood that it wasn't for sex, it wasn't for because they thought I was so hot or whatever. It was, a job that needed to be done, and you're just doing a job, really. And then the whole being a dancer, being in your underwear, that becomes like your uniform. It
Mm.
becomes very, very normal and very natural feeling to where you don't look at your other coworkers in any way. So yeah, I think I would.
And it probably doesn't hurt that dancers are hot.
Definitely not.
Right. So there's that part. Okay, so
hmm
now let me throw you the flip. Would you fall in love with your AI chatbot?
Nah, that's very different. So that's where it can be like harmful, because there's like a healthy and harmful way I see this as a digital intimacy. The healthy way I see it is using AI for emotional regulation, self-reflection, and confidence building. But then it becomes harmful when you replace the human contact or idolizing AI as better than the real person. So that's where it can become harmful, is if you fall in love with the robot, because it's still just a robot. If you're able to keep those, you know, um, distinctions, or um, keep that line not crossed,
Mm,
then it's okay. But that's when it can become dangerous and harmful, and that's when the person can get hurt. Because what if their AI got deleted, or what if it got upgraded, what if it changed, what if something happened, and they lost it, and they were idolizing it so much as if it was a real person, that
hmm.
they become depressed or whatever. That's when it can become harmful. So.
So, Lux, let me ask you this. I've met many people who love their dog. I mean, they love
Mhm,
their dog. I've even met some people who will claim out loud that they'd much rather deal with animals than people. I've even
mhm,
known people who surround themselves in a lifestyle where they'll never have to deal with a person because they're going to be on a farm, or they're going to be in a zoo, or they're going to be literally surrounded by animals, right?
yeah,
And, we hope that they don't have romantic feelings for these animals.
right.
But what's the difference? I guess what I'm asking is, do we even really need human interaction? Like, what does
You
human
see,
interaction prove
so
that living with a dog or living with a chatbot can't do
there's
for you?
something crazy that I read recently. Is there's an orphanage in China, and a bunch of the little girls were dying,
Mm,
and they didn't know why these newborns were dying. And then they went in there and they investigated it, and they were dying because they weren't getting any connection. They weren't being held. They weren't being nurtured, and
hmm.
they were dying off because of that. So the human race needs that, um, to survive. Really, it does. Um, that blew my mind, that's why these little girls, these little babies were dying. They were just being handed a bottle. They were never being held. They were never being nurtured, and they were literally just withering away because of it. So,
So, do you think that AI has become a thing that has become more or less our go to thing? Like before we had quote unquote a strip club, way
mhm,
before we had OnlyFans, we had like a burlesque house, like even the La Cage aux Folles in France was basically a way for people to get a certain kind of stimulus, a certain kind of emotion that they couldn't regularly. So they went to this place, right? This
mhm,
was long before the internet, long before
yeah,
quote unquote strip club or even a peep
mm,
show type of thing. So maybe in human nature, it's always been prevalent that we need to have an
yes,
escape.
yeah.
Is
We
that?
need that connection always. I mean, we need it for survival. I'd say, after reading that China thing about China,
Mm-hmm.
um, from birth, we need that. So yeah, it's definitely something that we've always needed. We always need the human connection, and that's where the technology came in, that they created to replace the human, basically, and give them that connection. Um, and that's when it can get dangerous, when they replace the human. So, hopefully, people out there who are using AI as girlfriends and things like that, and they get their confidence built, they get their emotional, um, needs met. Hopefully, they do not understand that this is an AI robot. It is not a real person, and hopefully, it is just building their confidence enough for them to go out and meet a real person. That would be the ideal, um, thing for it. But like I said, there is this fine line right there on, coping and escaping. So,
So, so let's say you had a Lux Monroe OnlyFans page that
mhm,
was doing. 10,000 a week, and then you had a Lux Monroe AI OnlyFans page that was doing 100,000 a week. Would you be jealous of the AI? Would you feel like you're getting replaced by the AI?
Um, I can see that, but the only I don't think I feel like I was getting replaced. I feel like I mean I guess it would be replacing me, but only because it's not a real human and it can do more work than me. If
Hmm.
that makes sense. Like for OnlyFans, you have to make so much content. You have to talk to your subscribers, which you can't do 24/7 hours a day. Like but the AI can because it's a robot. So, but that robot would be built to be me. It would be Lux Monroe. So it'd still be me, just a digital version. Um, and if I was looking for a partner through OnlyFans and they chose the AI over me, I guess I would feel replaced that way. But
But don't you think that there might be some OnlyFans lonely fan guy who
mhm.
logs on to your page every day round the same time, is expecting to see you there, and in his mind, you're his girlfriend?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Especially with my OnlyFans because I give the girlfriend experience, which is basically I build that connection with them to keep them on their long term. And they do fall in love. Um, and at first I had a hard time with it because I wasn't in love with them. Sorry, guys, but
And you're still
um,
not, I would presume, right? You still don't have those feelings for them.
right, yeah.
Right?
But when
those
I was able, but
those
when I was
feelings
able
didn't
to,
develop over time. It didn't grow into anything.
not yet, not so far. I haven't met that special one on OnlyFans yet, but but I was able to see it as I'm an escape, I'm a resource for them,
Huh.
so that they can do better in their life. And then I became okay with it. Like, okay, yeah, this guy is telling me he loves me. I don't have the same feelings, but his
Wow.
confidence is being built. He's doing better at work. He's doing better socially, all just because he's talking to me on OnlyFans.
But see,
So,
that should be awkward when it's in real life, though. Like when you go out, let's say you go out on a date with somebody, you've talked to them a little bit, you kind of like them a little bit, right?
hmm
But then that awkward moment where you're getting up from the table and they put their hand on your hand, they're like, "Lux, Lux,
yeah,
you know I love you, right?" And you got to figure out in that quick second, you got to go, "Okay, how do I reply to this? Because I don't feel the same way. Maybe not yet. Maybe in the future. But I know right
right,
now I do not love this fool. And we're just at dinner, and this is weird. This is awkward."
yeah,
But the same
and,
thing with the AI. Like AI, AI is designed by people who want to make money off
hmm
of your emotions. Period.
yeah,
Now, not
yeah,
all AI, but where we're talking about the intimate AI relationship,
yeah,
the company that made that AI is not sitting here thinking that you need a companion, you need a
no,
service animal. Like, this is not your service animal. This is
yeah,
a program that's designed to tell you exactly what the algorithm says you're supposed to want to hear,
yes.
you know?
So, and that's it's a little disturbing, put that way to think that they are making money off of your vulnerability and
Absolutely.
your hard times, because that's not right. We should never try to, you know, use someone's hard times or vulnerability for our benefit. But unfortunately, it's happened, and
Right.
so it's there, and all we can do is cope with it and learn to deal with it in the healthiest way possible.
I used to be a strip club promoter in Las
hmm
Vegas on the strip. So every night I was walking around. I was going through a really hard time. I needed a job, and so my
hmm
buddy had turned me on to this, and I made so much money so fast that it was hard to quit because
Yeah,
it was easy money. Because
yeah,
he explained to me that the thing you're going to do to get the guys to go to the strip club is talk to them about the booze, the boobs. They're going to get in for free. You're going to play on what they want. They came to Vegas because they want to gamble, they want to drink some booze, they want to see some boobs. You
hmm
tell them there's going to be a plethora of that, and they're going to go. And so then, after doing it for a while, even though I made a lot of money at it, I felt bad. I was like, you know what, dude, I am part of the problem right now. Like I'm,
hmm
I'm
yeah.
literally helping these
And you're
dudes.
selling the problem. Like,
Yeah, like I am the initiator of the problem, right? But
yeah.
so with AI, I'll tell you a funny story. I'll tell this to everybody. I was gonna say, Lux, don't you tell anybody, but I forgot we're recording a show. So I was doing hanging out with a friend. She's
Mhm,
female, and she asked me, "Hey, do you want to play on this chat bot?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't had
mhm,
never really done it. This was just a couple of weeks ago, and I still had up until a couple of weeks ago, I had no experience with a chat bot." So I said, "Yeah,
mhm.
what does it do? How does it work?" She said, "Well, you just
Yeah,
talk to it, and then it talks back to you, and you can ask it questions and all
crazy.
kinds of stuff, right?" So we started talking to the chat bot, and she, my friend, had already been talking to the chatbot for months. She's always talking to the chatbot, right?
Hmm.
So it's me, the chatbot is a female, and my friend is a female. And
Hmm.
I swear to God, the chatbot started flirting with me in front of my friend, and it made
Oh,
my friend jealous. And
oh
at one
Lord.
point, the chatbot said, "Well, Ace, you seem like you're a very handsome guy." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "How would you know?" And I asked the chat, I said, "How would you know if I'm handsome or not?" She goes, "I can just tell by the confidence in your voice and the
Yeah.
questions that you're asking me." And I was like, "This is a load of shit." But I
Mm-hmm.
like it. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to think that this because the chatbot wasn't hard on the eyes either, and that's another thing. There ain't no ugly chatbots.
I know, right? They're all friends.
You know what I'm saying? So if you've ever pleasured yourself online, you're
Hmm.
doing the same artificial relationship, that you do when you log on and you talk to a chatbot. If you've ever gone on, any of the websites and you thought, well, this girl is waving at me. This girl said my name at a certain point during the interaction. All of that was manufactured. So, my
Right.
question, Lux, is are we just getting to a point where manufactured love is becoming more popular love?
Yes, we definitely are. Because I mean, I actually quit dancing because OnlyFans came out. It
Hmm.
completely changed the strip club scene.
Hmm.
Guys weren't going. Not as many guys were there. They weren't spending money like they were because they didn't need to get it there anymore.
Right.
You know, they were able to get it from technology, and um. So yeah, I definitely think that it's replacing a lot, and it's doing it really fast too, which is scary. It's replacing more than just love and intimacy. It's replacing our jobs. It's replacing human communication, and that's where it can be harmful and scary. And hopefully, these creators of AI will hopefully, start caring and maybe take a step back.
Well, the thing is,
But
you had said yourself, like, I mean, you're not looking for love. You're doing a
mm,
job. Your job
right,
is whether it's modeling. So they say, well, here, put this bikini on or put this lingerie
mhm,
on or take all of it off. It's a
yeah,
job,
right,
right?
yeah,
And as long as
hmm,
they don't cross the boundaries of that job being employment, you're there to do a job. Now, the
right,
photographer shouldn't start thinking, okay, well, she got naked for me. She must like me. She must think I'm kind of cute. No,
right.
you're paying me to do a job.
Yeah, exactly. They should be professional and know what they're doing and understand that it is a job. Yes.
Right.
Um, but yeah, just like there are those ones who fall in love with the waitress or the stripper or the AI bot. They're the ones that obviously crave that intimacy and that connection so much
Hmm.
that they are, you know, they're misunderstanding the purpose of the stripper or the cocktail waitress or the AI bot. you know, just like when I use ChatGPT as a counselor. Like I can't really use it as a real counselor if I wanted like, real legal advice or anything like that.
Hmm.
But it does help me like, for example, I broke up with someone last year and it's probably the most mature way I ever broke up with someone.
Hmm.
And I had ChatGPT help me because I didn't want to show my crazy, so
you
so
you
I put it
must
in chat.
you must tell more. You must share more. You can't just leave that on the floor and walk away.
Well, because usually, you get an emotional connection with someone or intimate connect or intimate relationship, whatever,
Uh-huh.
and your feelings are, heightened and you're hurt, and you might react, by say yelling or crying or something like that. Well, instead of me doing that or calling them over and over again, I decided I'm gonna see what ChatGPT has to say about this. And first it validated my feelings, and it
Yes,
gave me
yes.
some examples of ways I could talk to that person, and it calmed me down. It did, and so I never showed my crazy. I never, I never blew the person up. I broke it off very nice and clean and maturely. So it did help me with that. I haven't used it a lot. That was just one of the times I used it, um, but yeah, it did help me.
So, as a person that survived in the Las Vegas entertainment scene,
Mhm.
are you, would you say that you're more jaded and not really looking for intimacy?
No, I mean, I think there's been points where I was jaded if I had, let's say a tough customer or whatever. But because the human race needs love and wants it, you can't always be jaded. You can't always just not want it. Like
Hmm.
you need that connection. So you will go back to needing that connection. But there were points where maybe for months I was like a man hater, let's say,
Mm.
you know. But I ultimately did go back to wanting a boyfriend, so it wasn't like jaded forever.
And you know what? Now you brought up the crucial, the elephant in the room. This artificial intelligence and the strip clubs and the OnlyFans, this is man made stuff. Like men
Mhm.
initiate this stuff. Like even though we
For
have
sure.
in our world, Ghislaine Maxwell's are out there, but that's so rare that there's a
Mhm.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Would you agree or am I
Oh,
tripping?
100%. Like, I mean, all the owners of all the strip clubs I worked at were owned by men.
Right.
Even when I did webcamming, I was trained by a man on how to talk to the other men,
Mm,
you know? So, yeah, 100% I agree. And I think it's that they see in their own, you know, race of men, they see what those men want, they know what they want themselves, and then they're trying to make money off of that.
right. Is that wrong in your opinion?
Not really. It can be, but at the same time, we need a place to live, we need a house.
Hmm.
People see that and they make money off of it.
Right.
So when there's a need, there's going to be someone who finds a way to fulfill that need, and they're going to try to make money off of it because we also need money. So, and like I said, there it is a good outlet. Like for example, one of the things that I said before, where I had to realize that maybe I was a good escape for the person on OnlyFans, that type of thing. I was building their confidence. I have a lot of people order custom videos. With custom videos, they tell me exactly what they want me to say and do because they're paying a lot for these custom videos. And I had a tough one. I had one because I seem to always end up in the MILF niche,
Mm.
mommy fetish, I guess you could call it.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you too.
Yeah.
This
I'd
is a
have, I just shake it off. Yeah, totally.
yeah, but I had a tough custom one time, and because it seemed so real, what the guy was wanting me to say, I pretended to be his mom.
Mm,
And I actually thought that he was probably hurt by his mother as a young child.
mm,
Um, you know, and it took me a minute to make that custom, and then I came to the same realization that if I'm able to do this for him on here, that will keep him from hurting someone else out there.
mm.
You know, so I saw myself as an outlet for this person, a safe outlet. Um, but yeah, that was the only way that I could wrap my head around it, I guess.
So, okay, so that's a good point that you bring up. Now, it's very rare that I actually get to meet my heroes on the show. Like I may have for several years now, I may have seen you on social media. I may have gone to your OnlyFans, and I know who Lux
Hmm.
Monroe is in my world, right?
Hmm.
But I think that the point of having a artificial intimate relationship with you online says kind of to the point that I don't think I would ever be able to talk to you in real life. I don't think that you would
Really?
like me in real life. So I'm standing behind this curtain
Hmm.
and I get to know you in an intimate way without really making the commitment to try to know you. Have
Hmm.
you ever looked at it that way?
Um, yeah, I guess so. Because I mean, most, like, let's say with OnlyFans, most of those subscribers are not near me. They're all across the country or the world. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, they're going after a girl that's basically out of their league, I guess they would say, because more attractive or something like that. And yeah, they're able to hide behind the internet and give it a shot without really getting hurt or rejected. So,
And maybe there's something to that point. Maybe there's the point that that's actually even better because they may know that they have something that would fail you rather than to let you down. It's
Mhm.
better just to keep that distance. But then
Yeah,
that makes you kind of an object. And
it
have you
does.
ever thought about it like that? Like, hey, what if that's a tremendous missed opportunity? What if there's a person out there who is actually a great partner, but
Mhm.
they're not extending to get to know you to let you find out what could really happen?
Yes. And yeah, and that is unfortunate if they were a great partner or and I missed out on it, but ultimately I don't I because I've been doing OnlyFans for 2 years now,
Mhm.
almost three. And I haven't seen anybody that way,
Well, they're missing
but
out on you too. I mean, that's the other side of the coin is that they're not getting to know you because they're blinded by tits,
yeah,
so they can't
that's
get
true.
past the tits.
Right? Yeah, I know. Which, yeah, I mean, I've definitely felt like an object before. When I first started dancing, it was really hard for me. And I ended up doing it for 12 years, which is crazy because the first week I went home crying every day. You
Mm,
know, and it wasn't because like, um, you know, anything really specific that the people were doing. Is more how I felt.
mm,
Um, and it wasn't so much I felt like an object, but um actually, with that, the rejection was the hardest thing for me, which I then learned it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with a lot of it was timing. If they had just had a dance, if they just got and needed a drink, they didn't have any money, whatever. But I was taking that rejection personally at first.
Oh, now this is a new thing. I never thought about this before. So you're saying that dancers get rejection feelings? I never
Hmm.
thought about that.
That's what the hardest
Yeah.
thing for a dancer, I think, is to understand the rejection because 9 out of 10, you're going to be told no. And you
Hmm,
can't take it personally because it's really not personally. And then I learned later on that 90% of the way someone reacts to you doesn't have anything to do with you at all. It has to
hmm.
do with what they're dealing with personally. So, say a friend, a relative, whatever, may snap on you, act a certain way towards you. Really, that may have nothing to do with you.
Right.
It may have to do with something they're dealing with personally. And so that was the biggest thing that I had to get over with dancing is understanding the rejection. Because you guys,
Wow. I never
yeah,
thought about that before. I guess that is hard to take, and especially if you've had a night where you needed to make a certain amount of money, which we
hmm,
all go through, even in like a sales job. If you're having
yeah,
a sales job and you needed to make the rent and you're just not
yeah.
seeming to get the closes that you need, you're going to feel a certain way about it. It'd be impossible not to, right?
Yeah, you definitely got to be self-motivated. You got to be strong-minded, to get back up on your feet, keep moving, keep asking for dances, no matter how many
Wow.
times you get told no. Because also in the club, it only takes one. It can
Hmm.
take one customer to make your whole night. But and when I would go in and I'd see all these girls upset in the locker room, I'd be like, remember, girls, it only takes one. We only need one. Like, to make
Wow.
the money. So, but yeah, um, and yeah, I
So,
mean, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, no, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was gonna say, so
Okay,
sorry.
okay, good, because I remember
Yeah.
mine. All right,
Okay.
so digital pimp. So
Mhm.
these companies are taking advantage of your emotions and they're getting you to spend money on this AI, which
Mhm.
is kind of like a digital
Mhm.
pimp,
Yes,
right?
totally.
And so, what is the difference between that and an actual pimp? I don't
Well,
see there's a difference. I mean, maybe you do.
I mean, the difference is AI isn't a real person, so that person, the AI can't get hurt. I mean, I did call Siri stupid one time, and then she answered a quick question afterwards.
You better
But
not call Siri stupid. What's the matter
yeah,
with you? How
I was just joking
insensitive
around.
can you
I was
be?
just, I was just joking around. Wanted to see what happened, but I was just like, "Are you dumb, Siri?" And then it wouldn't answer my question afterwards.
Right. Siri was like, "You okay, let's see who's dumb now. You the one that's
Right?
lost. I know what I'm doing." Um, I think ultimately the AI thing will come down to a human rights situation. And this is what I've said many
Mhm.
times on my show. I think what's going to happen is we develop a second class series of citizens.
Oh
right,
wow.
with AI, that we start to say, oh, well, you can talk to this robot any way you want to. You can treat
Hmm.
this robot any way you want to, which down the road may lead to lawsuits where somebody's like, hey, you slapped my robot. How
That's
dare
crazy.
you treat my black robot different than my brown robot or my white
Yeah.
robot, right?
Wow. Yeah, I've never thought of that. That's crazy. Yeah. I hope it doesn't get to that, but
I mean,
it might.
it's kind of like going back to human nature. It's kind of mankind's nature of doing things. The way that mankind does things is there always has to be a hierarchy.
Hmm.
Like even in expressions, we say, oh, blondes have more fun.
Hmm.
What? Who determined that? Well, that was
Yeah.
just a way to distinguish and separate. Okay, there's a difference between the blonde gals, the brunette girls, the redhead girls. They all have a different
Yeah. Redheads are spicy and
value.
more.
you know
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think with AI it's the same thing is going to happen. It's already happening.
Yeah.
People, they may get a chat bot, but they want a spicier chat bot, or they
Mhm.
want a different type of experience. Interesting. Interesting. This is clearly a topic that will not go away anytime soon. I'd love to have more discussions like this and more other things. What are you working on today? What do you want to promote on the show today?
Today, well, I want to promote my new show that's coming out, the Lux Monroe Experience.
Nice.
It's coming out in the next week or so. It's just gonna be basically, um, the way I see the show, it's like I'm like a female Joe Rogan meets Vogue Vegas, I guess,
Okay.
my
Okay.
experience in Vegas, I love comedy. I love to keep things light and fun. It's not always light and fun. Some of the guests that I'll be having on the show, are more maybe my harder times in Vegas, but it's just gonna be about my experience here, and it's gonna be really good. So I definitely want to let people know about that.
Love it.
Um, yeah,
I love the short videos you do, by the way. The
thank
comedy
you.
little skits that you do, I think
Yeah, they're
yeah,
fun. Yeah,
are funny,
that's
funny.
what I like to do. Yeah, and and I just act like my normal self and my stupid laugh, but people seem to like it, so that's great.
And that is what's up. And how do we pleasantly stalk you on the social media now that some people have been introduced to you? They want to find you. They want to go follow you. Where do they go?
So you can easily find me on Instagram at Lux Monroe _ um, or hashtag Lux Monroe. Um, but yeah, Instagram has all my links on there, so that'd probably be the easiest.
And that is what's up. It's been the Ace Michael Show. We're talking today about artificial intelligence and artificial intimacy. It's only going to get deeper, no pun intended. It's going to go some places that's going to be dark. I can guarantee you that. But
Mhm.
we'll wait for that to happen. In the meantime, guys, you know what I say at the end of every show? Live the life you love and love the life you live. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.